So which of you lot stayed up to watch that one, eh? I, for one, am annoyed that I did. See what I did there? Manchester United destroyed Bournemouth last night / this morning in a showing which suggests maybe the Red Devils are back. 2 goals either side of half-time saw off the Cherries at a blustery Soldier Field in Chicago. We did manage to claw a consolation at the end, but it was a bit of a humping for Iraola's boys, and a loss which suggests that our thoughts at the full-time the Everton game, which included Billing is the best player ever, Daniel Aduajay, he has to start, Petrovic simply cannot be beaten. Maybe those were a tad futile. The joys of being a football fan, eh? Tom, did you watch it?
Yeah, I did, mate, yeah. It's all good fun, isn't it? Being a football fan is brilliant, isn't it? But yeah, I think we mentioned the last one, as you said, that we did play really well, and Everton obviously were off it, and I think you've got to appreciate that Man United, I thought, played really well. It's the first time in a long time that they've been better than us in every department, I felt. And yeah, we weren't good, mate. We weren't good at all. And they have still got players that if you don't turn up, they will hurt you. They're obviously getting used to Amorim and the way they're playing, and some of the players are stepping up to the mark now. But yeah, we were off it. But equally, I look at kind of what he's got to try and do, and only with certain things, and you think we got away with it against Everton. And people like Traore really stepped up, but yeah, he's asking a lot from these players already. So yeah, needs to get some bodies in, get some players back from injury, and see what happens. But yeah, one to forget about, mate, and we can still lift that trophy on Sunday.
It can be done. Maybe, as Richard Jackson said on Twitter, it's a case that no real conclusions can actually be drawn from either that game or the Everton game. And it feels weird saying it, doesn't it? But Bournemouth lost to Manchester United. I don't think I've ever said that for a number of years, 2 years or more, I think. I think Iraola...
He's never lost one.
Has never lost. But conditions, of course, it didn't overly help. It was horrible. It was more Stoke on a Tuesday night than Summer Series on a Wednesday night, put it that way. Probably preferable, though, to play in British conditions rather than what they had to face out in New Jersey against Everton, where it was absolutely basking. They had to have cooling breaks. But to be fair, it was the same for both sides. Yeah. The rain did look biblical, though, and we had a couple of photos that were submitted from Giles, who was out there with Lindsay and the crew. Look at them, mate.
Class,
absolutely soaked to the bone, although they were given plastic max to hopefully stay dry. Fingers crossed they did. They look like they were having fun, though,
Yeah, you have fun. I mean, it's fair play to them for going to America. Not everyone can go out to America for pre-season friendlies, but that's really loyal and good of them. And yeah, I'm sure they still managed to enjoy it. I think it does get to a point where the weather's awful, we're playing awful, and you just kind of enjoy it because you just think, what else could we do here? So, fair play to some good picks.
So 2 contrasting weather conditions for the 2 games that we've had. 2 contrasting oppositions, Tom. I think it was always going to be clear for Bournemouth fans that despite the fact that Man United had a poor season in the last campaign, the Red Devils were always going to be a stiffer test than the Toffees, right?
Yeah, I would have thought so. I think Everton will get there. We kind of mentioned, I wonder if we were a little bit ahead of them. Maybe Man U were a bit ahead of us. Remains to be seen. But yeah, I think Amorim coming in and almost it felt like he made him worse. But there's a good coach there, and I just thought it'd be interesting to see when he's got the summer. He can kind of hang his hat on what players he fancies, and then also obviously there'll be a few new additions, but also he's giving some of the youngsters a chance. And then I think there are players that are starting to step up a little bit. I kind of forgot about Mason Mount, and I thought he played well. Dorgu, I think we forget, was quite new when he come in, and maybe he's settling in a little bit. I mean, Højlund seems to always score against us, which is a bit of a worry. But yeah, he's getting his ideas into him, and I think the best thing for Manchester United is that they've been awful for so long. I feel like they have got a coach that the players seem to be playing for and adapting to his styles and doing what he wants. So, they're certainly be in for a better season. But as Everton fans said when we were getting happy, we should also say to Man U that we were very good.
It's funny you mentioned Højlund because Rasmus, against many other Premier League sides, seems to live in the shadows.
What's that? Oh, banger that. Was that Rasmus? Oh, yeah, that's him. Yeah, I like that.
Tell you what, as soon as you said that, I thought, here we go, we've got a joke brewing. Look, Cunha and Mbeumo, I think most Bournemouth fans...
Is that one?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Most Bournemouth fans were fearing meeting them on the pitch, but transpired that they weren't playing But you know what? Like you said, I think regardless of them two big hitters not being on the pitch, I think there is evidence out there that Man United are improving from what I've seen. I think you're right. He's got the stones to get them out of this mire that they're in. And they looked all right. I was quite impressed by them for large parts of the game. I think we struggled because they were good, not just because we were poor. I think it's important to give them some credit. Their press was good. Their intensity was visible. And in terms of lapses, they had fewer than we certainly did. But athletic, well drilled. They seem to understand each other's roles and responsibilities as well. And probably the most organised side that Bournemouth have faced, Manchester United, for quite a while. In the same breath, though, they did make us poor, but we were poor to begin with, it seemed. Yeah, it felt that way.
Yeah, we straight from the off. I even felt in the Everton game, we spoke about it, that yes, we got better in the second half, but I actually did feel we were fine in the first half. We were better in the second half, but we still, when we started, I thought, oh, okay, yeah, we're back into our rhythm. Never really happened, and then obviously we'll come onto the game, but then scoring early didn't help. But yeah, it felt like they come out the trap so much better than we did, mate, and yeah, we didn't look good all night.
And it just underlines, I think, a few things. We need to strengthen the defence. We need a Christie replacement, which we still haven't got, and we often struggle, seemingly, when Cliver isn't involved. Plus, what are we doing with the players who we deemed not good enough last season? How come they're still about, and what's going to happen to them? I suppose it's just all the unknown factors. So look, there is going to be a few questions asked in this podcast if you're listening, or this video on YouTube if you're watching, but don't confuse it with being negative. We're just maybe getting to grips with the reality of the situation like we're in now, and that social media is fickle. Maybe we are to some extent as well. We live our highs and lows like we do on a match day during the 90 minutes. That's just what we do. And it's going to be fickle in terms of after the Everton game. There's going to be people cheering and thinking, oh, you know what, walk in the park, all that kind of stuff. Whilst we did enjoy the moment of beating Everton, I think in the back of our minds, we were always mindful that, God, we still need to strengthen here. I think that was just a little bit of respite at the time.
Of course, yeah. And you get to watch the boys again. You realise that Andoni Ball, lovely to see again. It was really nice.
Good to be back,
and listen, we played well against Everton, so we said we played well against Everton, and we played poorly against Man United, so we said we played poorly against Man United. It is what it is. But the only thing that remains constant is, regardless of, saying some things in jest, I think after the Everton game and after the Man U game, the same thing remains. We need some bloody new players. We need some reinforcements. Andoni needs some help, because what he's got to use, as you mentioned, are players that he's already said are not good enough.
And the scary thing is that the majority of the transfer window's behind us.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of time.
I appreciate things do happen later.
Yeah, there is still time. But why does that happen, though?
Yeah, it is a weird one.
I don't understand why that happens.
I remember we speaking about it back in January, where it's kind of like always on deadline day, it always goes mad, doesn't it? And I think it is a case of clubs playing poker a little bit. You've got to try and get the best deal. So while there's loads of it to go, you go, no, you say you're a selling club and you want 20 million for a player, and the club's bidding 15, you go, no. And then it gets to the last minute and they're still not budgeting. Or if you go, we do need to get rid of this guy. And you've got no choice, because you need to make the decision. So I think, there's a lot of kind of double bluffing and bluffing between clubs, and things will, and everyone's saying it, and I totally agree. Yeah. Bill Foley's always delivered. We will get reinforcements in, 100%. But would I prefer with Andoni's system? And we saw when Andoni first comes to the club, by the way, how it starts. Yeah. If you haven't adapted, well, it's not a brand new team, but it's going to be a brand new defensive unit. Yeah. It is, pretty much. Yeah. I would like them to have longer than, they probably won't have any pre-season at this rate.
Do you think, though, that we've all seen the tweets from Opta and stuff, and I think Bournemouth have got the second or third hardest run in out of the first 5 games in the Premier League. I wouldn't want to badge them as free hits, but we're certainly not expecting 15 out of 15 points. There are games that I would expect us to be winning, like Wolves at home, for instance. I can't even remember what the other ones are, but they're not. I think Spurs is one of them away as well. Not particularly easy. Maybe there's a little bit more wriggle room, just because of the fact that we're not going to have a 100% record from those first 5. So we've maybe got a little more time in the bank. Am I giving them too much credit here?
Maybe. I think I know what you're saying. So maybe it's kind of like, well, we're expected to struggle in these sort of games anyway. But they should know, as we do, that doesn't matter for Andoni and the players. We got so many results. Imagine if we didn't win the games that we weren't expected to last season, by the way. Yeah. It's certainly not something that we should be focusing on too much, but I appreciate what you're saying. And listen, things just do happen later. It's just the way it is. But I think if everyone was fully fit and firing, you'd kind of go, okay, you don't need to rush because we've got so many injuries already.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's kind of, yeah, we're using players, and you almost wonder, for a few players we're using at the moment, we're using them when really we wanted them to already be gone.
Yeah.
But we're using them because we kind of need some players to play. I mean, we're having 4 goalkeepers on the bench to try and make the bench up. So, yeah, a little bit concerning, but I was concerned before the Everton game with this. You know, it was just nice to see us perform really well, and they didn't perform. There's only a couple of players that I think have performed well in both games.
Maybe those 2 performances just reaffirmed our place in the football food chain. Who knows? So we need to get into the match. But first, as you can see, we're at the QP, the home of AFC Bournemouth fans on a match day. And look, the home to AFC Bournemouth fans, if you fancy it, and to locals, Sunday afternoon as well. Look who's down. Lewis, playing from 4 p.m. on Sunday. That's the 3rd of August. Timing's just perfect, actually. You can come down here, have a few drinks, listen to live music, and then you can watch the Cherries West Ham game. It's 60s ska, reggae, 2-tone new wave, and a little bit of punk too. All of the good music that Tom Jordan loves. So yeah, sounds of the suburbs. Get down, Lewis. He's been in the biz, by the way, for a hell of a long time. What a guy! 25 years. What a man! And you know what? He might come here and have a roast dinner beforehand, because of course, being a Sunday, it's home of the £10 roast. Although £9 for you, right?
Thank you. I didn't want to say it myself, but yeah, it is £9 if you're a season ticket holder. If you've got one of them lovely little season tickets,
or on your phone.
Oh, don't start me with that.
So get down here to the QP, the spiritual home of AFC Bournemouth fans, every single match day. Come on. Right, mate, I don't know what your sleep pattern was like, but I'm going to show you my Fitbit, right? So last night, I had a total of 5 hours, 31 minutes sleep. So I went to bed at 10:32, woke up at 2:13, and I had 51 minutes of being awake in that. 21 minutes of REM. I was probably dreaming of you.
Thanks, mate.
Everybody Hurts. I know you were trying to think of a song. Deep sleep, 39 minutes. So I didn't get much time. And I woke up, I set an alarm at about 2:10. I was trying to find my phone. I didn't know where it was. It was in the bed somewhere. Lucy was kicking off. Turn it off, turn it off. She wasn't going off for this one. I did. And then 3 minutes later, I just stayed in bed. Like, shall I just stay here? But I did get up for the good of people on back of the net, of course. What did you do?
I just stayed awake.
What, did you?
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing?
Yeah, sit through, power through.
Oh, my God. So how much sleep have you had?
Not much.
Oh, my God.
But it's a horrible time. I almost wish it was like, say, 4 and you kind of go, I'll go to sleep and just wake up early.
Yeah.
When it's 2:30, I go to bed late anyway. I was kind of, we'll power through this. We'll power through this, you know. But yeah, so I think we've got lucky, to be fair, in America. This was the only one out of the 3 in terms of us here in the UK. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter the people in America, which we went to last year. Last year it was fine, wasn't it? What time was the Arsenal game last year?
I haven't mentioned that yet. 7 p.m, I think.
Yeah, see, we absolutely smashed that last year, didn't
we?
Easy. So
I think for people, although for people over, I'm just trying to work out, for people in the UK, that would have been a late one.
Yeah, but we weren't in the UK last year, so
so it's fine. Yeah. Oh, so it's all about us and not about people listening.
Yeah. So last year we were fine. This year we've had one annoying one. But yeah, no, I managed to power through, mate. Wish I didn't, but I was always going to. And I did kind of think that if I say to myself, don't worry about the game, just watch it when you wake up, I would have woken up. Think it would have been there, wouldn't it?
On screen, we're showing a load of pictures from people who have been there over in America. And it's good to see there have been a fair few Brits that have gone over, but also our American fan contingent as well. And we've had some pictures that have been sent through from David Cordell, some of which you've seen. Also Richard Lane as well. Thank you for sending those in. But also we had some from Rob Lamb as well. Guys, it's so great to see your snaps. And you know what, mate? It's sort of, I don't know, like I feel a bit emotional like when I see these people that, okay, like even the Americans that have been over here, Terry Nichols, Deborah and her son, like Evan, Stig, etc. I don't know, I feel good for them. It's almost like a vicarious happiness, like when you see them meeting their stars. So they've been to open training sessions,
Yeah, no, it's lovely.
You know, these are Deborah's pictures of Andoni. Look, you got
the big man's out there this year, isn't he?
Yeah, the big man's out there. So there's Ollie May there from the media team with Steve Fletcher, absolute club legend, with the record appearance holder there. You see what I did? Absolutely superb.
Yeah, they love it.
I'm glad they're all having a good time as well. Brilliant stuff. And it's one that Cherries fans have been looking forward to. And it's almost like the club were playing on this on the tweet that they put out with Tavernier, the matchday tweet. What's the little win called about here, Tom?
Yeah, I think they're having a little poker fun at themselves, actually, which is good. I like that. I do like all that, yeah. Obviously, was it when we played Man U last time?
Yeah, we played them towards the end of the season.
Yes.
And we had them about 12 days after the tweet that went out saying, I bet you're all looking forward to playing Man United in the States, which was happening like 4 months later.
So, and obviously a lot of people, made fun of that. And I like that Bournemouth have come back and they've probably looked at it and gone, yeah, we didn't play that one well. So a bit of a laugh about it. Yeah, so I like that. It's all good fun. But we were looking forward to it and I'm not sure why.
It was a hard watch. But one thing I was looking forward to was seeing that blue and black kit in the flesh. It looks nice on that graphic that we saw, the matchday team graphic will be coming up for those watching on YouTube as well. I do like it from the front. Still not sure about the plain back though.
I think we were saying this at the time. I think a lot of people were saying it, that I thought, I wish they had stripes on the back, and then watching it in the flesh. Well, say in the flesh, watching it on the telly. I kind of felt the same. I thought, I just wish they had stripes on the back. Still a lovely kit. I do like that we went blue and black as the away. I do like that. But yeah, I would like stripes on the back. But I think everyone thought that beforehand anyway.
But it worked well with the blue shorts. I know that we've had that colour kit before. We've had white shorts as well. Right, but maybe there might be a fixture, as I said on one of my videos, that requires us to wear that kit, but maybe white
different
shorts as well. You never know. We've done that a few times. Yeah. But anyway, Manchester United were in their classic colours, and that was emphasised on their team lineup that came out. And it's so funny when I look at that team. I mean, I know that there are individual superstars, for instance, Bruno Fernandes, but I think I'm just numb to it based on the fact that we've just had their number for the last, 2 seasons in a row. And
I think everyone does it with Man U for so many years. Go, oh, God, look at the team. And I think, like you said, we've been used to the fact that everyone goes, God, they look good. And then we win. So, yeah, the only thing that stood out for me was Tom Heaton in goal. I thought, what's he still doing?
He must be well old.
Yeah, he's got to be late 30s, 40s.
I think he's 38 or something. I don't know.
Well old. He's old for me, all right?
Yeah.
No, but he's one of them ones that like ticks off English quota, doesn't he? But you never really see him play, so I was surprised. But do you remember when I think it was the last time we played him when he was in goal?
Go on.
Do you remember at Villa Park? We haven't won loads there, but we won at Villa Park.
Well, that was Tom Heaton.
He was in goal and he took out, I think it was Callum Wilson, and we won a penalty early on.
Yeah.
So I thought, here we go, let's have some of that. But he didn't have much to do.
It's odd seeing that side. Like I say, they've got some stars, but they are lesser than the sum of their parts and have been for quite a while. But no Cunha, no Mbeumo. So I thought to myself, look, it doesn't really matter which team we've got here. We can be fairly competitive. We might be able to scrape a win. But here's the side then. Love that kit once again. I like this matchday graphic, by the way. And what stood out to me was the fact that I wasn't sure whether we'd be going 3 at the back or maybe 4 at the back, but it is Iraola, so it probably was going to be 4. But there was a case for thinking it could have been 3.
Yeah, I think like you say, when you see the personnel, you think if you put everyone in their kind of favoured position, then it would have been about 3. So I can see why people were thinking that, but I feel like we've been there before, and Andoni never does that. Yeah. So I was kind of thinking, okay, so he's trying Hill in there. I don't know about you, mate. I'm just thinking about it's probably easier in hindsight, but I get why he's doing it. Adam's obviously not ready to start. He tried Traore in that role the other day, so he's got to try someone in there, and obviously went for Hill, which he has done before in game. I don't know if he can't because we've got no defenders, so he needs Senesi to play there. I feel like Senesi and Hill switched, it might have been better.
As a DM.
And I kind of thought when we started, I thought, I wonder if that's something he switches up. Weren't to me, but yeah, Hill can get around the pitch, so yeah, it was as I expected. Really, I was quite happy with everything else, kind of what I expected. Billing deserved to start the game. I was surprised to see him with the armband because when the last game, Zabani got the armband when he come on the pitch, when Billing was on the pitch. And Zabani started this game. So maybe it's just like, right, you scored a good goal. Here's the armband. Okay. And yeah, maybe it's on performances. So Dango leading. Dango be having the armband.
Dango C.
But there was, I'm trying to think who actually started the other night. Petrovic. Definitely, obviously Senesi, Dango, Evan Ilson, Tav. So yeah, it was kind of a bit of I was I think you're in a position where in that 10 role we can mix it up a little bit, try different bits, and also obviously Soler and Truffer, we can kind of rotate them and Araujo and stuff. So yeah, I was happy with the team.
But once again, no Cliver, no Krupi, obviously no Christie, no Lewis Kirk. I'd love some updates on Cliver and Krupi. I don't know what's happening with them. Christie, I don't know. Cook, we know the MCL situation. We don't know how severe it is. Tyler Adams was back on the bench, like you say, but Scott was not. But that's only just a one-off as well, by the sounds of it.
You hadn't even mentioned Sinistero. That's the point we're at.
I mean,
that's the point we're at. I feel I hate talking about it because it feels like I'm going to go. It's not his fault if he's injured.
No,
he can't help. But it's getting to a point now. Well, what are we doing with him then? I mean, and we were warned about this with City. But yeah, really, I'd be gutted if we can't see him at all. He's out there.
And plus, I don't want to face Leeds fans on Twitter.
Yeah, it's true.
Was he injured again?
Maybe that'll be his first game, actually. I'll take that. But
scores the winner.
But yeah, and obviously we know about Unal, which is fair enough. But yeah, it's a bit worrying we're getting a few at the moment. But I suppose if anyone's got any sort of knocks, you're not going to risk them. But yeah, nice to have an update, like you say, on the 2Ks, Krupi and Cliver, because I don't really know what's going on there.
So Sky had the match day graphic on screen, and this was pretty much how we were lining up. That picture of Zabani, by the way.
Looks horrific, isn't it?
He looks. Get
him out of my club.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No, he doesn't look good there, does he? Is that even Zabani?
Apparently it is.
Must be really young.
Absolutely horrific there.
Soler looks good there. Soler looks older than Zabani. Soler looks old.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know how they've done that.
But that's how we lined up, and the game started then, and oh my God, very British conditions. Lots of aggression, by the way. Slick pitch, so a little bit better temperature-wise for him, no cooling breaks and all that kind of stuff. But we were showing some promise, but then Man United went and scored. I think it was Dorgu who had the ball on the left-hand side, and he sort of turned Araujo inside out a little bit and fired in this wicked cross for Rasmus Højlund just to get a little bit of a touch on, not even that much. I don't think we'd have gone in. It needed something, but it got enough, and then Petrovic had absolutely no chance. And I hate the fact that I'm doing this.
Go on.
I hate the fact that I'm doing this, because maybe when Phil Bill scores that worldie against Everton, I should be analysing it frame by frame. But it's just natural that when you see something gone wrong, you sort of wonder why it happened. So I'm looking at this still from the game and thinking, okay, so Araujo, he was trying to track Dorgu, but also the overlapping runner as well. Obviously not knowing which way to go. He probably needed more help from somewhere.
Yes.
I just don't know whether that should have been Phil Bill getting involved, Zabani coming across.
Maybe the winger in front.
I don't know.
Yeah, listen, Araujo's found himself in a tricky situation. He hasn't dealt with it. It's still the case, but he would want more help there. But yeah, he doesn't do the right thing at all. And yeah, like you said about Bill and May, we've got listen, we waxed lyrical about him when he played bloody well, because he was brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant. He changed the game actually when he come on. He was absolutely awful, right? And what did I say? I said he's like your ex. He's just cheating on me, and this is what she does. Right? I fell in love a matter of days ago, and I went, I'm going to give her another chance.
Yeah,
give her another chance.
Saw a text on her phone.
Yeah, and then again, she's like, why is she liking her on Instagram? Why is she liking his pictures? No, it's weird with Billing, but again, he can't seem to help, but he always looks like he's just not asked. And he stands out.
Yeah,
he stands out more. But yeah, this goal's not on Billing. As I say, Araujo gets turned inside out, and then in the middle of the pitch, I mean, Højlund seems to have our number, which is weird because he's rubbish against every other team.
Well, yeah, he certainly does. But I also look at Senesi's movement, by the way.
Yes.
And why doesn't he track Højlund, who sort of runs, as you can see from the still, you won't be able to see video because we can't show it, but he runs from right to left, and you'd think Senesi would be tracking him, but he doesn't. He's running towards Zabani. I don't know if Senesi thinks that Zabani's going to cover it. I don't know, but he had the freedom of the park.
He did.
And it was a good header, and they were 1-0 up. By the way, when we talk about Araujo, I just want to make this clear. It sounds like I'm always subconsciously thinking that we dig him out because he helped paint this place. It's not the case.
Oh no, it was absolutely crap. It was terrible.
I just want to. I want to set the record straight now, because there'll be people like, that's not the case.
No, it's not my mate.
No, exactly.
He might say different. Actually, we did get on, but no. Listen, we're just saying there was other stuff as well, but Araujo, didn't deal with that very well, and he had a really poor night, which is a shame because I keep wanting him to. I feel like, oh come on, set, and he hasn't. He was awful.
When you were watching with the sound on?
No.
Okay, so you would have known this at the time. What really
frustrated DJ on?
It was DJ?
Yeah, it was a DJ.
Love that from you. Where were you watching it?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
One thing you won't have realised then, when they were doing the replays, they would play the replays with the original sound as well.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I hate it. So I was thinking that something's happening on the pitch when they're playing the replays. I was like, oh, well, go on, flash. But that's not. They were just playing they were playing the goal sounds again that I absolutely hated. Sky Sports, don't ever do that because that is not good. I think this was NBC's own coverage. Fair enough if they want to do it. Not for me, Clive. Right, one became two. 24 minutes.
Yeah.
And it came from, I'd say, an improbable goal-scoring source through Dorgu. But Zaba, he gave
this was awful,
away a free kick. He was being a little bit too physical. He was with Mason Mount. And Mason,
is he good, Zaba? Yeah. I'd stay away, PSG.
He looked a little bit pedestrian, I've got to say. But Mason Mount, fair enough. He took the free kick really, really quickly and he freed up Dorgu on that left-hand side. He made mincemeat of Araujo and then easily, I mean, Senesi tried to come in, probably slid too early, I'm thinking. He got a shot away, straight at Petrovic maybe, I don't know, maybe blame the weather conditions if you want to be generous, but...
Should do better.
He scored, but the thing that really got me was, and you don't see this from the highlights reel on Sky Sports on YouTube, but you do if you watch NBC's own coverage, so... Mason Mount takes the free kick. The camera then pans in on Philip Billing, who's just strolling.
He's done
and, you know, Zabani as well, who's strolling. Like, Man United are playing.
I know.
They out Bournemouth, because that's what we do. That's what we did against Southampton, for instance.
Yeah, and I'm
thinking.
It's things like that go, is that why Andoni's never fancied Bill? I'm not sure. I mean, listen, this, again, not going to make all the same references, but this is what Billing does, and like it wouldn't shock me if he gets the winner and wins us the cup on Sunday.
Yeah,
he's that sort of player. And we're not trying to dig him out, but yeah, he listen, Zabani was at fault for giving away the free kick, but the pair of them were pathetic for that. And also, as much as I don't think that's not an error from the goalkeeper, he should do better. If that was what I'm trying to say, is if that was Neto, I'd be saying that's poor.
Yeah.
So that was poor from Petrovic. It was, like you say, maybe the conditions, but he should do better there. If he would think he should do better there, for sure, Petrovic.
I've seen, just when you were talking about Billing there, this kind of love-hate thing, and I think one of my challenges for him at the start of last season was to kiss the badge. You know those AI videos that seem to be everywhere at the moment, where they're just creating these things, like, what the hell's going on here? I can just imagine him, like, having a Bournemouth shirt, he kisses the bag, then eats the shirt, and then shits it out or something. That's the kind of thing that AI could probably do.
Yeah,
but
someone's going to do that then.
He was, by the way, crucial to our near goal on 28 minutes, where we played a lovely ball through to Semenyo, probably a little bit offside, shot on the left foot on the turn into the corner, no VAR or goal line technology for this game, so alas.
So that's the game changer, and so that's the only time.
Bring back VAR, the
only time, man, you can beat us, because there's no. I reckon it was fine. Well.
They're trying to showcase the Premier League, right? They're trying to showcase it to a brand new audience. Why aren't they having VAR? Because they need to know what it's like to wait 7 minutes inside a stadium and see what the call's going the lines out. I
like a good joke, Sam. I cannot say bring back VAR. I can't do it. So I was well happy for that goal to knock out. Couldn't care less. I don't want VAR. But yeah, it was a nice little move though, wasn't it? And again, that's kind of like, Billing showed a little bit of quality. That's what he does.
That's what he does.
I fucking love you, Phil. But I think it probably was. It did look like it was just off.
Dango was showing a lot of quality. On 33 minutes, he made this run through. He was inside his own half, burst of energy. And it looked like he lost it at one point, but he regained it as he does. Got the shot away on his right foot. Good save from Tom Heaton as well. And look, we went in all right. It was 2-0 down. It wasn't particularly great. The first half, I think, was particularly poor, but we got into it and maybe should have found our way into it a little bit more with the half chances that we got. But I was struggling with a few things. Defensively, we weren't looking great. Senesi wasn't quite on it. I think in the middle of midfield, like you said, having a midfield containing, say, Billing and James Hill, that would never happen, so it's weird.
Yeah, and now suddenly out of nowhere from us going, Tav's now trying this new role. Now he's the most experienced in it. Man, what I will say is that midfield three, because I did think they got overrun. I thought Tav wasn't as good. Hill struggled to know where he needed to be, and as we said, Billing wasn't as good. But all it did do to me is it made me think Traore's performance was even better than I thought it was. Because I know the opposition is different, but just that terms of when you're watching something, I felt like, they all know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I felt like Tav looked more lost because he was going, I'm not sure where Hill wants me to be. And it just didn't, it looked, whereas I didn't, even though we saw the midfield three, which was Traore, Winterburn and Tav, and we all were, they looked like they all knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes with Winterburn, who I don't think does much when he gets the ball, because everyone knows what he's going to bring, it
Yeah.
kind of gives a little bit more clarity to the team. So I did feel they looked more disjointed that through.
I do wonder whether any of Andoni's opinions will be changing during these 3 games out of States, for instance.
During my opinion, I thought you were going to say.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking,
No, I know
like,
what you mean, yeah.
for instance, I know that these games are, like I said, maybe a glorified like fitness exercise, because it seems to be that there's not one of these games where he'll ever start with his kind of closest to his main 11 that he'll start in the Premier League. But for instance, like Traore, I was just thinking, like, he had a really good game. Like, I wonder if part of Andoni's like, you know what? I'm starting the next game as well, but he didn't. Is that because he knows he's going, or is it a case of management? Should I be not looking into this?
Yeah,
we don't know, do we?
We don't, obviously we don't know. So I do always feel like, especially when it's a bit of a like friendlies where they're all they almost know what they're going to do. I think, I mean, I don't know. Obviously they've got to see how they come through it as well. So you wonder if just people like that started both games, like Tav and Dango, came through it better. And they're just maybe feeling different bits and bobs. And listen, Trey always had some problems in terms of his fitness. So yeah, maybe it'll just monitor him a little bit more. But yeah, it was good to see him come on when he did. But it was probably a little bit too late, and I would have liked to see him start.
Half-time came and went then, and Maguire came off for Manchester United. That was the first substitution with De Ligt coming on. We conceded 2 free kicks very, very quickly on the edge of the box. Thankfully, it came to nothing. Mason Mount was closest with one of them, hit it wide, and they made it 3-0. Oh, by the way, the heavens opened as well.
Yeah,
it was absolutely pissing it down, and a lot of the rain was like landing on the microphone. And I don't know if you watch any ASMR sort of stuff.
No,
I was watching. I was watching on my headphones, and I was getting like sleepy by the like sound effects of the rain. I was thinking, you know what, I could fall asleep to this, but I got woken up rudely by a goal for Manchester United where it was Ahmad that steered it home. What were we doing defensively, mate? All over the shop.
Yeah, that was a bad goal. They were almost like, was this the one they were almost like complaining for something?
Yeah, I don't know.
I still don't know what the players were complaining for.
Maybe someone was being held back or something.
Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of something, but nice little finish from Ahmad. And I think from Man U's perspective, you just mentioned Mount there, who I thought looked like a new signing for him because he's obviously been injured so long. I thought Ahmed could be a player that I think kind of really comes through this year. I think he's a really exciting winger, and people don't talk about him enough. And you've seen that Ruben Amorim really likes him. It was a really nice finish.
I enjoyed his little kind of jewels every so often with Soler as well. I thought that Mason Mount dovetailed quite well with Bruno Fernandes as well. I thought those two really worked well together. So, yeah, 3-0, not good. We made 5 changes, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see them on screen. 62 minutes onto the pitch. Smith, Traore, Brooks, Will Dennis, friend of the show,
Will Dennis and
Adrian Trufer.
Right, he's not going to be offended. He's friend of the show. Why is Will Dennis coming on? And not what I'm saying is nothing as well. I'm really pleased he come on. Why have we not seen Paulson yet? Yeah. I was surprised that Neto come on in the last game.
Yeah.
And surprised because we've obviously brought Paulson back for a reason to see him.
Does that mean Paulson's going out on loan again?
Or, like I say, he might play a full game against West Ham. I don't know, but we'll see.
These mind games.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But no, I was pleased to see Dennis come on. Obviously we made a few changes. But I want to say, because if I don't, I'll forget, and then I'll feel bad that I haven't. Dango, because he come off at this point, best player over the 2 games.
Yeah.
This game in particular, best player.
His delivery, by the way. Yeah. So he put it on the plate for Ever a couple of times.
He did.
In the second half, especially, some incredible balls from out wide, some really great crosses. I thought, Ever was quite poor, really, in terms of his conversion.
I think he's been bad in both games, which is a bit of a concern. But yeah, I just think that, when you talk about different people, and obviously a few people have had bad games, I think it's important to say there was 2 players that I think over these 2 games have performed well in both, and that's Dango and the one that come on for him, David Brooks.
Yeah.
So I think they deserve credit. But yeah, I know that we said it in the last one when he scored, that was typical Dango goal, he was losing the ball. So I think and in that game he was frustrating me against Everton because I thought he's trying to do the right things, but he's just letting himself down. This time he wasn't, because the final bit was there. And now you're getting to a point where you go, Dango, like, there's not even a talk about rotation there. And Dango starts, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And fair play to him, he's really grabbing it, almost like he knows with Cliver out, with obviously Silly still out. Take your chance. But Brooksy, another player that plays wide, is coming on and doing all right as well. So that's positive.
He had bursts of pace.
Yeah.
He was strong on the ball, really liked his touch. And you know what? Trefair and Brooks combined almost instantly for Brooks to hit the bar, and then moments later, I think it was the next corner, a bit of pinball. Semenyo nearly turned it in, and that was cleared off
I reckon
the line.
A goal, there's no goal in technology, so that's another goal.
Yeah, it's got to be. And then another substitute, Will Dennis, was called into action It was a Dillett header from a corner, did well to save. And then Man United made 9 changes. We'll put them on screen.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going to even mention any of their names, barring one, and that was the goal scorer, which we'll probably come on to. Ethan Williams. Look, I'll give Leon some credit as well, because he sort of made the run. This reminded me, actually, of Dango's goal against Everton.
Yes.
In that Man United had the ball, they ran forward, it got touched off us, and then he swept it in
fair
one point. Ethan Williams.
It's weird, that one, because if there are already, like, obviously, United fans, I keep seeing different bits about, apparently Amron really likes this Williams, this new youngster, and I've never heard of the guy. But that's promising for them, for a young lad to just come straight away goal.
Yeah.
So fair play, and that Leon done well. But yeah, I thought exactly the same. It did remind me of the Dango goal.
Some more changes for us with the appearance of Fav, Tyler Adams, Daniel Aduajay, and Chris Mepham. Aduajay nearly scored, by the way, when Truffert, all of his own work on the left-hand side. Oh, sorry, it was David Brooks. Putting a cross-come shot. I think it was more of a cross. Aduajay would have probably scored it anyway, but it was an Oggy.
I would have preferred
Aduajay
to have scored it.
So
2-2 would have been lovely. But he does have something about him when he comes on, in terms of just, you feel like there's someone there that's just a poacher.
Absolutely.
So you just feel like he's always going to be sniffing around. So is that something that we could be? I mean, I think at the moment he's being used more because there's no Krupi, and obviously we know the situation with now. But you never know; he could be. And if not, I think a lower league side, if you take him, you've got a goal scorer there. But yeah, again, I think Truffert probably deserves a bit of a shot. I thought he'd done okay. You got to remember. What I'm not liking is people going, well, we've replaced Kirkus. Let's not call him Kirkus yet. Kirkus struggled in his first season. And Truffaut's and we spoke about it in the Everton game, I actually quite like Soler as well. So I think we've got a good little battle there. But they're both players that I think, okay, they seem fine to me. They seem kind of comfy and looking all right on the ball, and they'll only get better. So that's something maybe to point out, that Truffaut's been fine. Celestio, I thought, played well against Everton. I thought struggled. Yeah. I thought really struggled, which is a worry because he's our only defender, really. But yeah, I don't think there's nothing too alarming. It was just a frustrating one, and Man United punished us every time they did, and they were better than us everywhere. A little bit better than us in every department, though.
And look, social media is funny because there are some people who are being negative and pessimistic, and there are other people out there telling them that they shouldn't be. Equally, there's also the other way around as well. And personally, I think I'm struggling to find the evidence on the pitch that leads me to think that we'll have a ride anything like last season.
No, I don't.
If we're going to go on the gauge of Bill Foley's always advance, never retreat, I think we might be not advancing that much, maybe just retreating a little bit. I'm sure the overall aim is to advance, but next season I'm just not feeling it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally, when we done the kind of prediction thing, I was genuinely just honest that we can't predict the future.
I don't think we'll be in trouble.
No, I don't think so. I think, you can't predict the future. We will sign players, I'm sure, but at the time we done the predictor, just went off kind of what we knew, and you and I probably agreed, actually, that 14th sounds about right. And yeah, a lot of people saying that's pessimistic. I'm telling you now, if you offer me 14th, I rip your hand off.
I would take it as well,
because you could get. Let's not act like we've got this divine right because we've got a really good coach and we played well last season. A team will get sucked in. A team always gets sucked in. So if you tell me, especially with the expansion of the stadium, losing your whole defensive unit, really, players taking time to adapt. If you tell me that we're not going to get sucked into it, I'll be well happy. So 14th suggests that.
But people out there will be saying that and there's a Telegram conversation that is going on our Ko-fi, which we'll talk to you about on a future
healthy
video.
Debates.
Oh yeah, they're always healthy debates.
Yeah, this one's great, And
I really enjoy almost playing devil's advocate a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Chucking in a grenade and seeing out. No, I don't. But it's always good to question these things.
Yeah.
And in the defence of people who are, I would say, some people would say rose tinted. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but they've got history and they've got hope. They've got history, the fact that Bill Foley tends to say things and it happens, and he's always delivered in a transfer window. And hope, given the fact that we've still got a month left of the transfer window. It's not like we're not going to sign anyone. But equally, some of the people, not on Telegram, I've got to say, maybe elsewhere on Twitter, all who are being hopeful about the future, also seem to suggest that, Manchester United, they're craps, so we'll finish above them this season. Well, we've only finished above them once in our entire history. What part of the history side of that makes you think that will happen again? We can't think that we're going to get there and no one else will, because everyone else wants to improve as well. We're going to be the same as everyone else.
Yeah, and I think what almost, it annoys me a little bit, because we've got this thing about, which I always think we've always been right in it in terms of like the media never talk about Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are always written off, and everyone says Bournemouth are going down, blah, blah, blah. I feel like a lot of fans are doing the same and kind of going, well, look at Brentford now, they're rubbish now because they've lost a few players. Well, look at what, like, well, you're doing the same to them. What they would be, that's all they're doing about us. You're doing the same. And as you said, mate, if you want to go back on history, which is bang on, because Bill Foley's given us no reason not to trust him. Andoni, don't need to say anything more about him. So yeah, but then if you're going on, so that means you're going on previous evidence. As you just said, Man U finished above us. We finished by Man U once ever. Tottenham, once ever. And then the team we're talking about that we think, oh, they're looking bad, Brentford, we never beat. So you can't have it all for just your argument is what I mean. So as I said, yes, we do a lot of things in jest, and we talk about, oh, that's it, we're top 4 now after beating Everton. I felt like we needed more, and I was worried before Everton. Great to see him play really well, and it made me think, oh, I'll tell you what, you forget how bloody good this coach and these players are. But I still bloody felt we needed something. 100%. I still feel the same now. And I think, and there's a lot of people said, we'll get them all in ready for America. And now people are saying, we'll get them all in, we've got ages left. But it just changing it to when it suits. I think this coach and this group of players are far too good to get dragged into anything personally. But as you said, this always advance, never retreat stuff. I would be how are we fit? How are we improving on last season? How?
Well, that's the only gauge I've got to go on in terms of how I'm supposed to feel. But I suppose in the same breath, I said this on Telegram this season, and I can read it word for word. Cool. I said, I just sense that trying to replicate things season on season amid the constant churn of players in the background is incredibly difficult. But then you have to look at teams like Brighton to realise that maybe it can happen to some extent, because they seem to manage it. Why can't we? Because they're who we want to be. They're further down the road, obviously.
Of course. I think this comes up a lot, and I think it's a good point. Brighton, every year, lose a top player. They've done it again. João Pedro's gone Chelsea, hasn't he? Yeah. They do it every single season, and they seem to just kick on, crack on, and be better for it, because they know what they're doing, and they've got to do that, and they make brilliant profits on so many players. What Brighton have never done, I've definitely said this before, Brighton have never got rid of 4 in their back 5 in one window. I mean, they've just never done that. So you could get rid of one. They've got rid of one defensive midfielder, the next window the left back, and the next window the striker. Best players, but just one in each. But not like this. I mean, this is me assuming, which I get he's not gone anywhere yet, but this is me assuming that Zabani goes. Zabani, House, and Kirkes Kepa. I mean, that is a lot to put on the coach, in my opinion. Do I think that Bill Foley and the recruitment team will bring in some good defenders? Absolutely. I think they've brought in a good goalkeeper. Yeah. I think they've brought in a good left back. I think they'll bring in good centre backs. Do I think that they're just going to instantly come in and suddenly we've got a defensive unit that are all singing from the same hymn sheet? I think that's going to be very, very difficult. As you say, I do think we've got enough. But saying that 14th is pessimistic, which a few people have, I think is mad. I think that would be a great season.
It's like,
I think 14th would be a good season, don't you?
It's absolutely. I mean, it's like if me and you couldn't do the podcast anymore, and we had to be replaced with, I don't know, Fred Dinage and Holly Willoughby.
Yeah, it'd go down.
Those two are very experienced. Will they work? Maybe they will.
Actually, it might be all right. Actually,
Fred, you're in.
Fred and Willoughby. I'll tell you what, that's a weird. But I found it. That feels all right. I think we'll be all right. I like that analogy.
Let's have a quick look at what social media...
Fred Dinage Chris Mepham in this? I've envisioned him as Chris Mepham, which I really like.
Let's have a look at what social media has been saying.
I haven't looked a lot, to be fair. I hope it hasn't been too...
I'm going to read out briefly. Massive credit to any Cherry who went to the game, watched the full 90, said Tommy Heffernan's...
We went last year.
Steve Hensman said we looked like we weren't interested, didn't compete at all. Lots of really poor performances, particular Rauho, Zaba, Billing. Also, what's with all the long balls? Richard, of course, we spoke about him saying no conclusions can be made. My only comments are things will be better when we have a proper midfield. Agree. Whenever struggles, we've got no realistic alternative, and we're bound to add 1 or 2 players to this squad, but we needed them now rather than later.
I thought it was a good point. Just touch on it a little bit. Obviously, it's not our fault that Krupi's injured, but I really felt like Ever does a lot, a bit like we said about Dom, and we haven't really got someone if they're not playing. And I was really excited to see if Krupi could offer that. So it's a real shame that we haven't seen that. And I really hope that he can be available for the weekend because, like we've both said, Ever's not been good for 2 games, and you could see that in the build-up, and that's a worry.
A couple of other comments, just pick out conversations that we haven't had already. William Morris says, would have liked to have seen more of Fevre to see what he offers. Warren New Stadium, that mentioned Araujo. Maybe he's best painting the QP pub rather than playing football. Oh, William, don't be harsh, but who knows? He was quite good, to be fair.
Yeah. I feel like we're at fault, and I don't know why.
Maybe it's our fault.
It does feel like our fault. He's not been good since.
Zach Anderson said, I know the game was decided, but thought Brooks looked good again. And Truffaut also had some nice moments as well. Luke Andrews said, I only watched the highlights, but I thought Petrovic could have done better. The jury is still out. Nice to see Phil wearing the captain's armband. Loved the kit with retro vibes, but wish they put more effort into the design. A bit basic. Petrovic, jury's out. That's just one moment on it.
Yeah, I mean,
horrible conditions.
Leslie played 45 the other night. I thought he dealt with everything spotless. He was brilliant. He should do better, particularly for one of the goals.
Yeah.
And you got to be fair as well. I think if it was Neto, I would have said that was poor. So
we were moaning about Kepa at Brentford with the shot of the near post as well.
He will know he should do better than that.
Yeah,
absolutely. But as everyone says, and I totally agree with the recruitment team stuff, they don't spend. We've had a lot of goalies temporarily for a while. We don't spend that sort of money if he's not a top goalie. Chelsea fans will rate him. I'm backing him, but yeah, he should do a lot better with that goal in my opinion.
We flashed a few more comments from X up on screen, which you can, if you listen to the pod and you want to see them, well, you can head to our social media accounts or just play back the video, then you can see some more opinion there. Over on Facebook, Sam says, for me, it doesn't really mean anything. I understand we lost, but it's a friendly game. It's just about getting players up and running, ready for when the test starts against Liverpool on the 15th of August. Yeah, valid point. Fair. Craig said defence is poor, really worried about this, and if Zabs goes, we are screwed. He mentions Petrovic. I hope he just had one of those games with his kicking because he couldn't pick out second line balls today and gave the ball away time after time. But Brooks, a bright spot as well.
I do think the Petrovic kind of chat with the kicking, because we haven't really mentioned it, also goes back to another point. I think it was Steve said earlier on X that I almost felt like he was being told to go a bit longer. We were trying to go a bit longer, and I wonder if, I'm just trying to think of it now and looking at their side, I wonder if we thought, especially with Maguire first half, the best bet is to try and turn them. We got Semenyo, Ever and Dango.
Yeah.
Let's get it quick. It just didn't work. But yeah, I certainly felt like we were trying to go a little bit more direct. Whereas against Everton, I felt we knew we'd have the ball.
Yeah.
So we could, kind of be a little bit more patient and not as long. But like I say, I think it's important to have these in pre-season, I think. These sort of games, I think it's important. You know the squad a bit better, and Dodie will know a lot more from that game than he did against Everton.
I've got Instagram up as well, and this first message is breaking my heart a little bit in response. One of them from X-Walt saying, first time seeing the lads in person, likely the last time for years, heartbroken. Oh, man. We'll bring you the matchday experience via the vlogs. Hopefully that makes up for it for some extent. Comments about Araujo being awful, said Rob Toy. We've also got others saying third best everywhere. They capitalised every time. We didn't. It was a tough watch from the stands. And also on YouTube, there are our own comments as well. So check them out on our community post, which you're very welcome to get involved in. There we go then, Tom.
Just a friendly.
Just a friendly, don't worry
Just
about
friendly. Just get some, get it in the legs. All good. If we re-establish somehow win the cup, what a trophy. It's either a major trophy or a pointless friendly, and I'll let you know which one it is.
Now, if you enjoyed our watch party last Saturday, you're welcome along again on Sunday night. We're there from 6 o'clock. Kickoff is at 7. Bournemouth versus West Ham with £3.50 Carlsberg, £12.95 bottles of Prosecco.
Yeah.
I think 10% off Guinness as well. If you fancy getting involved, Q Sports Bar's where it's
Absolutely.
at. We'd love to see your faces. If you came last time, we'd love to see you again.
Yeah.
And it'd be really, really nice to have you along. And what was a really good night.
It was, and we're the first game, aren't we?
Yeah.
So if we win that, then we've all got to stay and go, God, are we going to get a trophy?
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Mate, I've got work to do the next day. So
have you got I might get an inflatable to take out down the town.
Why not? Yeah. Up the chairs.
Trying to end on a positive.
See you there. We haven't been too negative, have we?
Nah,
we've been all right. You heads.
Come on. Rao's getting some absolute pelters here. As soon as we gave him that brush.
Yeah, I know.